He's starting it back up.
Okay, yes.
Right?
Yeah, start it back up. And I'm going in to try and I'm going to enable the waiting room, I guess. Um, so we got bombed, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I've unlocked the meeting.
Okay. Everybody's back.
Yeah, everybody should be back now.
Yeah.
David, are you there? And Jerry?
I think Jerry's trying to join.
Okay, great. Let me see. Participants. Uh, it's a little tricky, to do. Might get my host tools open again. I've unlocked the meeting. I'm gonna unenable the waiting room so that people can get back in, and then I'll figure out how to lock it back up again. Um, David and Jerry should be able to get back in now. Jerry, are you in?
He's joining now.
David, you on? Okay, I sent David a text asking him to rejoin. Okay, so we've got Cam, myself, Jerry's coming on in a second, and Scott, you're already back on? Is Scott there?
Scott says he can't unmute himself or use chat functions.
Okay. We don't use chat anyway. But I just made sure I shut off the unmute. Can everybody unmute themselves? Can you try?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
He might still be in the old meeting. He might need to rejoin.
Mhm. All
Just
right.
got an email from Boston ZBA saying they're having similar problems.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Right.
Okay.
Log out of that meeting, X out of that meeting and try going back in. Okay, keep trying. Luigi's having a hard time getting in.
Okay.
I don't see Maria, no. See if you can call her and have her try again. Thanks.
All right. Everybody should be able to get in to do everything they need to do now. Let me see here.
I think we're still locked, Jocelyn. See if you like move your cursor at the top left, it says meeting locked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Let's see. Let me unlock it. You're right. Sorry about that. Okay.
Okay.
I know, sorry. I had the wrong thing on. Just try again. Sorry. It's not that easy. Couldn't figure out how to do it before, but now I got it, I think. Everything's off. They could essentially join us again, but hopefully they won't. I mean, I guess Scott has not joined yet, so I'm going to ask him to rejoin.
I'm here.
Oh, you are here? Great, Scott. Thank you. Sorry for the
Oh,
inconvenience,
great.
guys.
No worries.
Luigi and Maria are on now too.
Okay, wonderful. As soon as everybody's on, I'm going to lock it. Just waiting for
So-
David to join.
I am on it, but Luigi is not on it because I am not at home. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We'll wait a few minutes for him.
He's on. Luigi is on.
Did he
Great.
get on? Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
Okay, and is Mr. Williams on?
yes.
Great. And so we're just waiting for Jerry and
This is David. I'm back in.
David. Great, thank you. Sorry for the inconvenience. I don't know what happened. It was terrible. Jerry, are you there? Jerry, you there?
He's looking to see if there's another Zoom link.
No, just use the same link.
He just sent you me text. Okay.
Okay, he's trying now, so let's give him a second. Well, we've got 4 out of 5, so I think we can probably get started. So as I said earlier, I'm going to start again at 3:44 p.m. My name is Jocelyn Campbell, and I'm the chair of the Nahant Zoning Board of Appeals. We're here today for a hearing on 10 Fallon Way. And I know there's been some changes. We're in the middle of our deliberations, but we've had a couple of little changes, so we had to have that done and continue the matter for today. So the architect, Jean, was saying just before we had to take a break due to someone bombing our meeting, that there were some changes, and I suggested that she hold off for a second because I was going to say we're going to have let the architect interpret that change or the engineer. And I think since he did the change, maybe would you like him to do it, Jean? Would that be
Yes,
easier?
Sure.
Okay. So
Rich, can you post your drawing?
Sure. And I want everyone to know that we did receive an email today from Susan Sherry and Victoria Portino that said that immediately following the last meeting, they spoke to Mr. Williams and that they talked about the Japanese knotweed, and he explained that the slope above the planned boulder wall would have an erosion mat and rocks, and they agreed that given the planned work, it would be negligent to not fully address the stability of the slope. He suggested that a boulder wall along the existing wood structures would further stabilize the slope, and that let him explain if necessary, but they agreed that this was the approach would be address their concerns about stability of the retaining wall, and they've offered to pay the cost, labor, and materials for the boulder structure. Mr. Williams said he would bring this approach to the Asinos, and they have not heard back yet. That was as of earlier today. And then we received a revised plan from Mr. Williams. So if Mr. Williams, if you could be so kind, hi, thank you for coming on today, to explain what changes you made to the plan.
Sure. So this line here was the line of the boulders that we had done on our original design and shown on the plan.
Okay.
And the revision is to between this proposed wall and the base of what the I don't know if you folks remember, there was a wood wall with stakes holding the wood up at the base of this
Yes.
at this wall. Putting a row of boulders against that, and then between these two boulders to put siltation like a geofabric and stones on top of that. And this plan has a cross-section detail of that. This is their existing wall, and this is the wood wall that's there. We would put boulders here and a rock surface on this material, and then this is the wall that we had originally proposed. So that's the change that was made to the plan and that we discussed with the abutters.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for that.
Would it be possible, Madam Chair, to ask one just clarifying statement, or is it not appropriate? I'm Nancy Fox, 5
Well, if
Allen.
it's necessary and if you could do it quickly, it'd be great, because we lost a lot of time already today because of that bombing.
Well,
But
that, I
of course,
didn't do
Attorney
that.
Fox, go ahead, ask your question of him now, so we can.
Yeah, so where you're talking about, when you're down looking where the wooden fence is that the wooden fence with the green spikes? Because on the side where it goes down by my property, you can see where my, what do you call them, the stakes, the pin is out 6 inches from water erosion from that. So I guess this would solve that issue down that left side there.
I think, Mr. Williams, that question's for you. Would that solve
Yeah,
it?
I'm not sure when you say left side.
So it would be with your back to the tall, very tall wall, looking at the blue house in the front, the left side down there. That land has eroded from water runoff to the point where I used to walk straight up, and now I'd have to get a 3-step ladder to get up there.
Yeah, so this is the elevated crushed stone area that is at the bottom of the I want to say stairs, but entryway for the home above. And then this is the wall we proposed, and we'll have erosion protection between those two. So that's all we can do on our property because it will all be protected on that side at this point of the design.
Okay. Does that help?
Yeah, it runs right down into my on that side of my home. It runs right into my cellar window, right in there. So I'm gonna have to go out and take another look at everything.
Yeah, this is flowing in this
Straight
direction.
down.
This
Yeah,
way.
straight down. Right.
And then we've got an infiltration trench here, which is further
It's the
protection.
side, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. And the plan is for the water to go down into that trench, Mr. Williams, into the.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to pick up surface water that wasn't being picked up before. But as I said at the last meeting, and I want it to be clear, this is not to solve everyone's problems because we can't, with the amount of water that's coming off the hill, solve everyone's problems.
That's not the question. It was, does it increase
No,
my
I
issues?
just
That's what I'm
I know that
asking.
wasn't the question. I just want to point it out. You know, when
So,
we talk about adding these things, it's small benefits and help to the issue, but it's not a solution.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Okay, could you stop sharing for a minute? That'd be
Sure
fun.
thing.
Unless any of the members have questions about the plan? The changes in the.
Nope.
Said Scott,
I don't have any questions.
David, Cam, you guys are all set with the
Nope.
changes?
I have no questions.
Okay. And Jean, was there anything else you wanted to say about change since we last met?
No, since the last meeting, we have not changed anything regarding the architecture of the house and its footprint. It's no changes from the last meeting. We did want to find out what town council said about the road, and you were going to get back to us on that. Where are we with the road?
Well, there are two things I wanted to explain to everyone before we delve back into our deliberations. One of them is that we weren't able to really find out a whole lot more about the road, about the way. We did, as you know, inquire of the town of whether this was a public or private way time ago. And we learned that, in fact, the road itself, which is Fallon Way, was a private way until 1993 when it was voted in as a public way. And we know that the property, the house itself, sat in the way back at least in 1954. And so I'm going to share my screens to kind of show everybody real quick what that looked like, because I do have a plan from the Registry of Deeds, which is a public record. So anybody can actually see that. Hang on a minute, let me go look at my, let's see. It's that's actually his plan. Hang on a second for that. Can everyone see the plan in front of me now?
Yes.
Says
I can see
Fallon
it.
Way. Can everyone see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is a plan from the Registry of Deeds. I just want to show you, it's a 1954 plan. Although it's not really what we call a definitive plan, it's just a plan of land that a particular gentleman owned in 1954. And it does show, the property does show this house in the way in 1954. So what that tells us is proof that this land, and all we can go on right now is what we know, because we weren't able to find any additional records or information regarding notes or how this way was approved, etc. But we do know that this particular house sat in the way at a minimum since 1954. And we believe it was built probably about 10 years prior. So, we're just looking at the assessor's card, looking at all the other information that, we could find, I could find in public record, that here it is in the way, a proof of plan, 1954. So
Can I interrupt you
approximately.
for one second?
Sure,
I'm
Mr.
sorry. I just want to
Mr. Williams, go ahead real quick.
just this plan does not show the house in the way. It shows the way
It
having
does
a
show the house,
jog.
yeah.
A
Okay,
different
it's
has
a
a different
private way at
shape.
the time, okay? And I understand it's sticking in the way, but thank you for your
Just the
contribution.
steps, just the
Okay.
steps.
We're good to go. Okay, we understand that, your position is, thank you. So what I want everyone to see is that we have a plan here from 1954 showing the house where it is now, essentially the proposed location approximately. And the reason I'm showing you this is because, in fact, we want to be able to demonstrate sometimes what we do know. This is one of the things that we do know. We do know that in 1993, the town approved the way, accepted the way as a public way. We do know that doesn't seem to be any actions that I can see that the town took to remove the structure or to make the whole thing a public way. So as far as we know, it's been accepted in two parts. We also know that there's a guardrail in between the lower and upper sections. And I have a picture of that if anybody wanted to see it. So that's the two parts as far as we could tell. We have no record of anything else beyond that. There could have been some commentary, there could have been some exception for this particular property. I don't know. But all we know is that the public way is there. It does seem to go around the property, and that's the only information we have, because we could see this was here long before the way was accepted as a public way. And so that's why we wanted to show you that. So that being said, I think it's fair to say that we're going to go back into our deliberations and we're going to discuss this and see if we can't come to a resolution today.
Yeah, Madam Chair, can I just one moment?
Yes,
Do
quickly.
that?
What is it?
I'll make it quick. That plan was recorded by the owner of that property.
Understood. That's what I just said.
Okay, and all I'm gonna say is that's not an approval, there's no planning board.
That's what I just said.
Okay,
Okay, pay attention because I just said that it's not.
I heard that, but my only point is that does not mean you can't do a taking of a public way in Massachusetts, which I think everyone agrees with. Or
We're
a
fully
private
aware of the process for taking in Massachusetts, but I just want you to know that we were looking for whatever I could find to show you that we could see that this property was there in 1954. Someone prepared a plan and recorded it.
Nobody disagrees that the house was built there. I think whether or not it's lawfully there is a separate question.
Right, totally separate question. And whether or not anything could, come of that is entirely up to any neighbors that wish to, take that up with them, I would do so.
Thank you.
But we can see that it was there in 1954, and we know that approximately 40 years later, the town voted to accept it as a public way. And then there's been no further action against the owners that I could see, against the property, to move it. No, I saw nothing in the records of that, but that's my interpretation. So we're gonna go back into our deliberations, and I'm gonna talk to the members about the findings and things that we can do here moving forward. Does anyone else have any other questions before we go into that? No?
I don't
Okay.
know why the town would vote to make it a public way when there was obviously a house right there, or, a property right there. So I don't understand how that process happened.
Well, it is a process, and there is a three-step process typically that when a town takes a road, first they get a prescriptive easement over the road, so they have a property interest, then they vote it in, and then there's a layout process after that. So whether all that was done correctly or incorrectly, that's not for me to say. And we tried to find what we could information on it, and this is what we have. These are the facts we know. We did see that it was accepted in two parts, but it's only really one issue here. There are a lot of other issues with this property, as you know. But I think it's fair to say that I'm gonna let the members talk about it, but we're gonna deliberate right now and talk about some of these issues, okay?
Okay.
All right, so all the members, David, Cam, Scott, Jerry. And Jerry, you're on, correct?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I
I,
can see you now
I,
too.
I just want to. I mean, this house has been here since the 50s. It's been quite a while. I don't see it being a problem. What he wants to do is is a lot less than we've seen from the beginning. And I just want to express that when someone buys a house on a private way that got taken over by the town took it over because they maintained the way and they probably have utility easements there, so they needed to take it over. But other than that, I think this project is well drawn and well done, considering what's there now.
Okay. Does anyone else have any
How does
input?
everybody else feel about it?
Yeah. Cam?
I
Agree.
have no problem with what I'm seeing, because what's being built is the same size as what was there.
For the most part, yes.
Under 703E, we're merely giving a special permit to tear down what's there and replicate it. And so I don't see an issue there.
We still have a 0.02 increase in building coverage, David, on the plan. With this as a minor consideration though. How about Cam? What's your take?
I have no issues with it. If there's something we can do to just satisfy folks regarding protecting the buildings, something minor maybe, that would be great. But otherwise, I have no problem with it.
Okay, Scott?
I echo the same thing that Cam just said.
Okay. All right, so I think I would echo the same, concerns or what have you that everybody else had. I think this property has come a long way from the first plan. So when I first saw it, I said, that's not looking good. But it's come down. It come down to this one, it looks like 1.5 story now. We're just gonna stick in the cavity. You've done all this wonderful work with the engineer. Mr. Williams has been wonderful. I think that these neighbors have gone out of their way to accommodate this owner. And it's really nice to see everybody's kind of working together. Hope it continues that way. So I think does everybody feel as though we can do some findings to see where we go with those? I think we could make a finding that, in our opinion, that this is a public way. Except for, of course, the property the part that the house is sitting on.
Yeah, we definitely can make that finding.
Okay.
That it is a public way. It was taken in 1993 by vote of the town meeting, and the house that was there, it was built prior to 1954, and the new house is going on the same location as what was there in 1954.
Okay. Is that a motion, David?
Yes, that will be a motion.
Okay. Anyone want to second that motion?
Second.
By Cam Merrill. And is there any discussion on the motion?
I guess my other question is, do we have the authority to find it a public way? I mean, we can say based on what we've found it's a public way, but is it in the bylaws that we can find it a public way?
Could we modify the motion to say that it's been reported to us by the town that it's a public way? Would that work, Scott?
That's fine.
That would be, I think that's a better
Okay.
finding.
Okay. And all in favor?
David Walsh, aye.
Cam Merrill, aye.
Scott Fry's aye.
Gerardo Raphael, aye.
And Jocelyn Campbell, aye. Okay. And next is regarding, I noticed that there is an issue with the building coverage. We're 0.02% over the building coverage, which is set at 25% for the town, and it was 40% previously, and this means it's 42% now. And so this is really not a new nonconformity, it's just an exacerbation of a pre-existing nonconformity, which if we chose to allow, if we could make a finding that 0.02% would not be more substantially detrimental to the neighborhood, then we could, move forward. If not, we could not move forward. Does anyone want to bring any findings or motions regarding that?
I think the finding is the stairs they took out of the private way was non-conforming to the building code, and they added the stairs and the bulkhead to make it conforming to the building code. That's the reason why it's 0.2 over.
Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion that 0.02 increase in nonconformity is not more substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood?
I
So
will
moved.
still move.
Cam, was that you?
Yeah, myself and David, I believe, but pick either one.
Okay. Cam, so you brought a motion. And that was for that the 0.02 increase in building coverage was not more substantially detrimental to the neighborhood. Does anybody want to second it? Is that you seconding it, David?
Yep, I'm seconding.
Any
Second, David
discussion on
Walsh.
that motion? No? All in favor?
David Walsh, aye.
Cam Merrill, aye.
Scott Fry's aye.
Jerry? Jerry,
Looks like he froze.
did he step out?
Looks like he froze.
We froze. Jerry. Well, Jocelyn Campbell, aye, and you only need 4 out of 5, so.
Okay.
Jerry, you back? It's hard to do it like this sometimes, isn't it? Okay, so need 4 out of 5. We have 4 out of 5 on that anyway, on that
Yeah.
finding.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Jerry, we asked you if you agreed with Cam's motion for the 0.02 increase in the building coverage, whether it was that it was not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood. Do you agree? Jerry? It's okay. We got 4 out of 5. Okay. Jerry, you back?
Can you hear me? Yes, I agree.
Yes,
I,
we can hear you
Gerardo
now.
Raphael.
Hi,
Can you
Jerry.
hear me?
Okay, so yes, I
Hello?
can hear you now. We can hear you.
Oh, what a guy. What a guy.
Jerry, we can hear you now.
I don't know why it's working. I agree. Yes.
Thank you. That's 5 out of
Yes,
5.
I agree. Gerardo Raphael.
Okay. All right, does anyone want to bring a motion? Oh, we also have to talk
Okay,
about the.
thank you.
The next part is the,
Yeah.
under our bylaws, section 703E requires a special permit for a reconstruction. And in order we just made a section 6 finding, first of all, on the 0.02 increase in building coverage. And the second piece was the 703E and whether that applies here and whether we need to issue a special permit here. I guess it doesn't hurt to do so to make. Does anyone want to bring a motion for a finding under section 703E for reconstruction?
Make similar finding to section 6, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'd make a finding under section 730E that it's not substantially more detrimental than the existing structure.
Anyone want to second that motion? I can.
I'll
Second.
Aye.
Second, David Walsh.
Okay, any discussion on the motion?
Like he's working with he's my neighbor.
No discussion? All in favor?
We were talking about that like randomly.
David Walsh, aye.
Somebody has their thing, their thing. Everybody should be muted except for the members, please. So David Walsh, aye.
Gerardo Raphael, aye. You get mine, Jocelyn?
Yes, I did. Thanks. Yes.
Thank you.
Cam Merrill, aye.
Scott O'Frias, aye.
And Jocelyn Campbell, aye. Okay. So we've made a finding now under section 703E. And now we have to decide whether we're going to grant a special permit for this construction. And then we have to discuss conditions. And so if we are going to grant a special permit for the construction, I need a motion. It can be for both 703E and the 0.02 section 6 finding that we made for the excess building coverage. Anyone want to bring a motion for that purpose?
Move to issue a special permit for 703E and the excessive building lot coverage.
I'll second that motion.
Seconded by David Walsh. Okay. Any discussion on the motion?
Just,
Before we get to
the only
conditions?
discussion we have is conditions. Would they go
We're gonna-
in here now?
We'll get to the conditions in a minute. First, I want to get the motion.
Okay.
So everybody okay with the motion? We had our discussion. All in favor?
Cam Merrill, aye.
David Walsh, aye.
Gerardo Raphael, aye.
Scott O'Frias, aye.
Perfect. Okay. Now let's talk about conditions that we want to add to that motion.
No longer.
First of all, that I suggest that we use that the property be built, constructed pursuant to the last set of plans that is dated today, July 27th, 2000, or yesterday, July 27th, 2026. And next, does anyone else have any suggestions for conditions?
I would suggest that Mr. Luigi hires a licensed Massachusetts contractor with a bond up to $5 million, or an umbrella up to $5 million.
Well,
The contractor he hires should have an umbrella policy up to $5 million, not a bond, an umbrella policy.
okay. So maybe what we should do is talk about what kind of coverage can we require for the neighbors, if anything? And looking at the conditions that in section 908C and D, there are the first one is protection of adjoining premises in the general neighborhood from any detrimental use of the lot or structure, convenience and safety of vehicle and pedestrian movement, responsibility and adequacy of methods of disposal, sewage, refuse, and other wastes, provisions for loading and unloading vehicles, preservation of views and sunlight. And such conditions shall be imposed in writing, and the applicant may be required to post bond or security for compliance with said conditions in an amount satisfactory to the special granting authority. So, Cam, Scott, David, what does everybody else think?
Does-
Jerry,
does-
idea?
As what Jerry said, does a $5 million umbrella policy cover all of that?
Well, I don't think we can say what the level of insurance the contractor has to have necessarily. I think what we need to do is make sure that we include here the condition that the applicant post bond, sufficient to satisfy the conditions. And I don't know, no one's given us a price. Oh, it's going to cost $5 million to replace the house next door. Is this something you think we should leave this to the building commissioner to decide, or?
Yes.
Cam, what do you think?
I agree. They're the professionals that build these things and know what they cost and know what policies are available. I think the commissioner is in the trade as well. So let's just leave it to them.
Okay, but it has to be compliant with our bylaws, which are, section C and D.
So it has to be compliant to all building codes too, so it mimics the bylaw. So the building inspector will oversee it.
Building codes as
Can we,
applicable.
can we,
Go ahead, Dave.
can we require that the the properties that we are talking about be named in whatever policy is drawn up.
You mean name the, want to use the abutters?
Yeah, name the abutters properties that we are talking about so that there's no question about the coverage.
But what if, you know, what if there's well, we define the abutters for purposes of zoning, right, to be the 300 feet.
Yeah, I've run into issues with that on projects. A lot of insurers won't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would leave it up to the building department. They're the ones who are gonna oversee the project. And they're the ones that are gonna run it. And they have to get inspections for foundations and everything, so they can condemn the house next door, they can do everything. They'll oversee everything, so.
Okay, I'm just.
Okay. So the conditions are that there is some protection for the adjoining properties in the general neighborhood from any detrimental use of the lot or structure. Fair enough? And then also that the building department require that there be a bond posted or other security. It might be a rider to a policy. It's not just a bond. It could be something else, but has to be sufficient. For security for compliance with said conditions and amount satisfactory to the special granting authority. And so we have to say, what's the amount that's satisfactory to us? Replacement or repair of any structure that's damaged?
Yes.
$1 million.
Including. Yep.
$1 million, you want $1 million?
It should be coverage so that if something happens to a house that's closest to it, that, and it collapses, the insurance is there to rebuild it.
Well, usually they do a survey of the houses before they do the excavation, David. The companies usually do a survey house to house and survey the foundation, survey the existing conditions, and then they'll start the procedure on excavation, if that's the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Just want to be sure we word it properly so the coverage is there. That's all.
Okay.
Also, along those lines, I think that we need to include numbers 2 and 3 on section 908C with the convenience and safety of vehicular and pedestrian movement within the area and the responsibility and adequacy of the disposal of sewage, refuse, and other wastes.
Yes.
Just given the design, I think we need to make sure that that's in the special provisions.
There's construction across the street from me not too long ago. The dirt from the construction was brutal. It lasted like a year. I swear it's still floating around out there. So yeah, keeping track of the dust in the construction is a huge issue. I agree with you, Scott. So why don't we do this? Why don't we, because I'm not supposed to bring a motion, just so everybody knows, but someone else needs to bring a motion that we adopt from 908C, sections 1 through 3 and D, and that we ask that the building inspector at his discretion, or just ask him to impose it, okay? You know, a bond or insurance that is satisfactory of a minimum of $1 million per occurrence, per house. That's what would be satisfactory to us. If anyone wants to bring a motion like that, we can put that in writing.
Is that something that we can do?
Good try.
I
Says here we
take
can do
notes,
it.
but can I just say I move as to what you just said?
Okay, sure. You know what? I'll bring the motion, Cam. That way there you can second it. I don't generally bring motions, but I'm going to right now. I'm going to bring a motion to add conditions to the special permit that from sections 908C 1, 2, 3, and section 908D in its entirety. And we're going to add also to that where it says that in an amount satisfactory to the special granting authority that we are recommending $1 million per residence that it is
Encourage you to sign up for like the
and,
fruit plans and stuff.
construction.
Well, after actually seeing was sick, like they're all like.
And is that, who seconds that motion? Anybody?
Yeah.
Cam Merrill seconded the motion. Any discussion on the motion?
I was ever in that round.
All in favor?
Cam Merrill, aye.
David Walsh, aye.
So.
Scott Fryas, aye.
We didn't run anywhere, I think, Gary, what was that?
Gary?
He didn't run anywhere.
I, Gerardo Raphael.
Yeah, we were actually.
David?
Extra rules on the second of Saturday.
Yep, David Walsh, aye.
And Jocelyn Campbell, aye. Okay, so we've made our findings. We have, looks like we have some pretty good conditions here we've added to the. We also said, oh, I'm sorry, I think early on, I suggested that we include the condition that it be built per the plans. So does everybody agree that we just add that condition?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, you should have early absentee time.
Yes, definitely. Yep.
That was Saturday.
Roll call on making the add to my motion is all those in favor?
Cam Merrill, aye.
David Walsh, aye.
Scott Fryas, aye.
Okay.
Gerardo Raphael, aye.
Jocelyn Campbell, aye. Okay. So we have the conditions that the property be built as per the plans that were dated July 28, 2026. We're adding 908C, 1, 2, and 3, and D with the additional increase language regarding value. Anyone else have anything they want to add from the members? No? Okay.
No. Nothing from me.
Great, so we're all done. The special permit has been granted. We are did add some conditions to it. And all parties are going to file our decision in the next 2 weeks. And then anyone who is aggrieved is welcome to appeal if they so choose. And if not, then we will be giving the original to the members to the applicant to record at the registry of deeds. Okay?
Thank you very much.
May I ask a question from the public since
No, we're all done with
I'm-
questions. Sorry. We're done with questions. I'm sorry.
I'll make a
you know,
motion
I
with-
don't feel like I've been heard enough. Every time I try to ask something, I'm told.
I'm
make
sorry.
it-
All right, ma'am, go ahead. Go ahead, ask your question. What is
No, so you've just, I had checked with the town today and the town attorney's not there and they don't have all the information to make the decision on, I guess you do, right? On the paper way. That's what I was told 3-4 hours ago. So this is all just done and no one heard me on my drainage issue or my water issue. And I watched 15 of your ZBAs, especially 48 Wilson Road. Everyone's concerned about their neighbor's drainage, but I haven't been even heard on that. So now all of a sudden there's a parking space with a curb cut right in my backyard. I just feel like I have not been heard on this. We were said to put it aside, the parking in the paper street 3 or 4 times, and all of a sudden here we are with some weird thing happening, and it wasn't my fault. I was told the drainage isn't an issue. My cellar floods because of the way that is now. So I'm not sure what my recourse is, but all of a sudden, a parking lot's in my backyard without any discussion. That from the town telling me I've asked for 1 straight year for a designation on what this was, and I've asked for records, I've asked for everything, and now in 20 minutes I have a parking lot in my backyard.
Well,
It's just
it looks
I
like
feel
there's
like
gonna
I've not been heard.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to hear that, but it looks like there's going to be 1 parking space back there. And there's been a problem with parking over in that area all this time. And so we really have not, and it's kind of a good point that we really didn't address the parking fully. But we did talk about the 1 space previously, at least 1 occasion. So I want to let
On
you know that
occasion
we
where
give
I-
everybody an opportunity to talk. And we asked many times, does anybody else want to speak? Many times.
And every time I asked, you said make it quick.
Yeah.
I just want that
Sometimes
on
people
the
go on
record.
by quick. I mean, say your position, obviously, because sometimes people go on forever.
Madam Chair.
Sorry, Miss Fox, you've spoken on behalf of council, correct? You're represented by council, and your council have spoken at several
I'm
meetings.
just saying, like, the parking was just all of a sudden done in 20 minutes here. When I've kind of asked the town, I know I have this 1 straight year, about what the designation of the street is. And then I asked again today and was told they're still looking up all the records. So I guess I'm amazed that this just happened so quickly.
Okay, so what we
After
did,
having
yeah,
that information.
it's a fair question, ma'am. So I just want to let you know, so we took a look at what we knew, because we didn't get an answer a full answer. No one found any additional records. So we have to make a decision eventually one way or another. And so we took a look at it and we said, okay, here's what we know. And we know enough to say, this is what happened in 1993. This is what happened, this is where it was in 1954. And so here's what we can vote on. The way part was just a small piece of this plan, this problem, this issue. And so we looked at the lot coverage, and we looked also at the construction, all the changes that we've helped facilitate, and we've provided this forum for everyone to get together and talk with the engineer. The engineer's made himself available to speak to the neighbors, and has even made a change relative to what a neighbor had requested in the past week. So I think there's been plenty of opportunity for that.
I had asked to discuss the parking last
Input.
meeting, and I was told not this meeting.
Okay.
Just we can go back to the recordings. I want that on the
Go ahead, that's
record.
fine.
Yeah.
But we did look at the parking at least once, and then we also noticed too that the issues that were before us, that were given to us by the town, were the 703E and the lot coverage, the building coverage. Those are the two issues that we really had to decide today. So I think we're all done, but I appreciate your input, and I'm sorry that you feel aggrieved. I hope that, if you take a look at it and speak with the engineer, maybe have your counsel or your own engineer speak with them, that might be helpful. It sounds like they've made significant improvements in the area.
Madam Chair, with all due respect, she could file an appeal of this decision, and I may
Absolutely.
recommend her to, based on the fact that she was told at the last hearing that parking would be addressed at a later date, and this is non-contiguous, and it doesn't comply with the town of Nahant, and I haven't heard any vote regarding that, so to the extent that this is the parking on this plan, the parking at minimum is an issue.
Okay. So Cam, David, anybody want to respond to that?
I'd like to respond to
There
that.
was no relief required for parking that was before us. So I think that a lot of the issues being raised are not
Yeah, I
a
think,
problem right now. They may be in the future, but they're not right now.
Jerry
think-
and Bales.
I just think they made it more better than what it was. They didn't have a spot for their car. That means they would be parking in the private way.
There's
And then they
resident
moved the
parking
stairs
right
out
at
of the
the end of
private
the
way.
street.
And they improved the drainage, and they're going to improve the neighborhood. It's going to help you with your value of your house later on in life when you want to sell it. I think this is a
It
great
is
project
not. I
for the
disagree.
neighborhood. Unfortunately, you disagree to it. But we have a professional engineer and architect, and they came up with a great plan to people buy things and they have the right to fix them. Unfortunately.
So,
Um,
and as you know,
the only
with
thing
parking. Go ahead, David, I'm sorry.
the only thing I want to say is that all we have done is we're taking an old house and putting a new house in the exact same spot. Whatever parking conditions existed prior to our decision are the same.
That's
Everybody's been living with that for the last 30, 40 years, then that's not the issues that are coming before us. Nobody complained about parking that I know of 10 years ago there. If they
And
did,
just so you know, right,
it
and
never came
the
to
other
us.
lot, the area was not used in the calculations of the matter, so we only stuck with the one lot.
May I make a comment?
No, I think we're done with comments, but thank you though. Everybody,
I'd like to make a
Go ahead.
motion that we adjourn.
Second,
any discussion on the motion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye,
Kim.
Gerardo Raphael.
Walsh, aye.
Scott O'Frias, aye.
Jocelyn Campbell, aye. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Have a